good evening, everyone. It is morning here for me in Florida. I think it's what, evening for you, right?
It's afternoon. It's 3 o'clock in the afternoon here.
That's not bad. That's not bad. It's a good time to do some trading, right? But no, it's incredible stuff. We have Wizard of Vault with us, an awesome guest. He's been on the spaces a ton. Really, really amazing co-host, awesome trader. Love having him here. We're doing prediction markets today. So for those who are familiar with prediction markets, you've probably heard about all the buzz. You've probably seen all the buzz. There's Polymarket, Kalshi, etc. We'll be using Kalshi today because I'm a Floridian and Kalshi is allowed here, and I'm going to use that. Also, Kalshi is a really good platform, so I do like Kalshi a lot. But yeah, prediction markets are pretty wild. Especially with all of the stuff that's happening in crypto. I think this would be a really good time to start, going down other avenues, possibly if it is indeed over, right? Obviously, that's a joke. But yeah, I don't know. I'm really excited. Wizard, how do you feel about prediction markets? I want to get your thoughts on prediction markets before we dive into everything.
Yeah, I think they're an interesting frontier. I think, it's interesting to see them, particularly sort of for the more cultural stuff and that sort of more, I want to say niche, but the stuff. So I guess sort of from a cultural difference of you in the States and me in Europe is gambling is a lot more normalized and a lot more freely available in Europe. Like it's not uncommon to have that gambling, whereas in the US it's a little bit more on the other side, isn't it? Like it's a bit more restricted. So it's interesting to see it from a sports angle because we've had that, but I think some of the markets are really interesting, like the array of stuff that you can have your prediction on, and it's leaning into that information arbitrage story, which I think is quite an interesting one going forward. But for me, I'm interested in it from I guess from a sort of, you always want to beat the bookies, and it gives that sort of nice element. I know some people using it for crypto. For crypto, it's fun because it offers essentially leveraged gains without sort of whilst capping your downside. Particularly sort of the will Bitcoin be above X price by date Y. So yeah, I think it's really interesting. They've come by storm. Like it seems like they weren't here a minute ago, and then they're everywhere now. So it's be interesting to see how long sort of the heat stays on and how quickly they grow. But yeah, certainly it's a wave to be ridden at the minute.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm really happy that you touched on the fact that people are using it. Like I'm using it personally for that, for leverage trading on crypto. I mean, it's really good at capping your downside. Like you said, there's a lot of returns there. You can easily hit 2-3x's on your position consistently. Obviously, consistency is key there, but I think that also to your point, prediction markets coming by storm. There's definitely been a gambling culture here in America where like we have this will we won't we relationship with casinos, where in the past casinos had the entire gambling realm under their wraps, under control, and then bam, boom comes the internet, and then you have a bunch of online poker. Online gambling becomes a huge thing, and then a lot of regulations came with that. And I think this is just the natural step forward when it comes to that, like where you're like, oh, well, if we have trading online, we have gambling online, why not just like have prediction? Like, why prediction markets make sense to me because it's like, why not just bet on everything, right? Like you can just bet on every single thing. And I think prediction markets really blew up after the CFTC and the SEC just said, yeah, go for it. Like they said, oh, we can't really regulate this. Like go for it. And I think like the CFTC is in charge of it because it is futures. It's futures contracts. But I could be wrong about that. I have to look that up. But I think that this kind of lackadaisical, like sleeping at the wheel of the administration for when it comes to prediction markets has I don't know. It's definitely played into their benefit for sure. I mean, you have Polymarket coming to the U.S. now. Like they weren't in the U.S. before; they're coming to the U.S. now. I just think there's a lot of, like you said, there's a lot of opportunity there, a lot to be made there.
Yeah, 100%. I think certainly the two big players are capturing some of the market. So it's it'd be interesting to see how it plays out. I think certainly there's a lot of fun to be had, and and it gives internet degenerates something fun to gamble on that isn't necessarily crypto. But Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all fun and games. I think it's one of those where it's an opportunity, and I think there's people who are more than willing to go and play those opportunities.
Yeah, agreed. I guess let's go ahead and get into it here. Um, sharing my screen. So I am sharing my screen here. We're going to be starting with my personal Kalshi account. So I loaded it with about $100. Well, I started with $20. Actually made it all the way up to $100. So that was pretty neat. Won some sports bets, won some Bitcoin bets. But as you can see here with Kalshi, let me just move this around. Actually, I'm going to make sure everyone can see. Let me just see if I can put this on the bottom.
There we are.
If that helps. I don't know why my title looks like that. Let me just hide that. There we go. Yeah, so this is Kalshi for anyone that's unfamiliar. This is a prediction market right here. So you have pretty much everything. You can bet on literally every single thing. I feel like you have all the trending ones right here, so you can see the most popular ones. Who will win the Supreme Court? Will the Supreme Court rule in the favor of Trump's tariffs? Likelihoods here looks like it's 21% chance of them not doing it. So yikes, right? That could be huge. You have obviously sports betting, football, Shiba Inu price action today. Like that has $53,000 of volume. That's pretty wild. Gas prices in California, etc. I mean, so there's just a lot here. I guess Wizard, what's your favorite thing to trade on Kalshi or on the crypto market? Not crypto, sorry, a prediction market.
On Kalshi, I'm always drawn towards sports, but that's because it's quite. I guess sort of growing up certainly from the UK perspective, like I mentioned, everyone has a little flutter at the football, at the races. It's very common, very normalized. Obviously, I watch quite a lot of sports, so that's always where I'm naturally drawn to. More so when I see football on there, I assume that's not proper football. That's your football. I'm more interested in what you call soccer. I call proper football.
Right here, soccer.
As do the rest of the world. Yeah, and it's certainly the EPL, the Premier League, is the biggest tournament.
So we're on the EPL right here. So EPL, Premier League, regular time. It looks like 90 minutes plus stoppage time. This does not include extra time or penalties. Okay.
There's no extra time or penalties in this anyway. It's league matches.
Interesting. So what kind of bets are you looking at on the EPL here?
So the ones that really so I like to sort of see where we'll get some upsets. So where the odds fall in some sort of where I think there's some good opportunity. I think certainly there's some tough games that I'm drawn to. I really like Crystal Palace, Brighton. That's an interesting one that I'm drawn to because Crystal Palace has been playing quite well recently. There we are. I mean, that's the Monday. Is that Monday night game?
Yeah. I see it right here. Crystal Palace. I just clicked on it. Versus Brighton. It looks like Crystal Palace is favored to win, but only by a little bit.
Yeah, it's a tough. It's a weird one. This one because it's a derby technically, but it's or a rivalry. I think they call it because they're not that close to each other geographically, but they hate each other. It's a weird one. You have a lot of derbies in football, but it's one of those where it's a derby, but they're not close. But yeah, Palace have been playing quite well. This I think is quite an open game. So it'll be quite an interesting one.
Yeah, when the spread's like this, especially on sports games, like it's going to be very interesting because they're very close. So the games that I usually avoid betting on Kalshi are the ones where I don't necessarily avoid them, but I mitigate my risk quite a bit on them. Are the games where you have like lopsided odds. So you have like what is it? This team is favored to win, when this team's like heavily favored to lose. So if you have like a 75 to 25% range there, so with like a 50% difference, I'll typically bet like a little bit of money if I think this other team's going to upset. For instance, if I think like for instance, Wake Forest and Florida State last weekend.
Yeah.
I was actually at that game. I live in Florida, so I went to that game, and I was like, oh man, Wake Forest is actually playing pretty decent. I'm going to go ahead and bet on them. Also, the odds are better. So I'm a huge Florida State fan, but just based on the odds, I was like, hey, I'm going to mitigate my risk, roll back my position, because I normally bet like 10% of my portfolio on stuff like that. So I rolled it back to like 3%. I was like, oh, I'm just going to bet like really, really small percentage here on this, because the gains will be outsized if I'm right, and that'll be great. But if I'm wrong, I don't lose much. And it's
Yeah.
like, and I'm likely to be wrong on that. Because I hate, like, I don't think betting on those like 75% to 85% winners, that doesn't make any sense really, especially in prediction markets, because your return is so minimal to the amount of risk you're taking on. I don't really see it.
Yeah, 100%. It's the stacking up. I think for me, it's the risk reward, and I think where stuff like this, where you've got quite a nice risk reward, is on this. So potentially, I'd play it whereby if you were to back Palace and you were watching it in game, if Palace scored at that point, then you could de-risk some of your Palace, go on to Brighton, and if Brighton score, and sort of play some of that back and forth.
No, exactly. I that's what I love about prediction markets so much, is that you can just sell early. It's like you're sports betting, but you can literally let go of your position early and trade that. And that's exactly what I recommend doing to for everyone to do on prediction markets, is give yourself a take profit target, or like a risk off target, and hit that target. And the beautiful thing is on Kalshi, I'm not sure about Polymarket, but on Kalshi, you can actually set limit orders. So when you make your trade, you can buy, like, let's say I'm going to buy, Crystal Palace right here at 44 cents. I can buy those contracts, and then I can set a sell limit order on them at whatever price I want to, right here on the top right. So I think it's really neat that I'm able to, like, let's say, Crystal Palace is at 44 cents right now. I can tell Kalshi, hey, let this go at like, 80 cents or 88 cents, which is double. It's a 2x right there. And even if Crystal Palace loses, if the odds change over time and they lose, I still made money.
Yeah, exactly. And it gives you the good opportunity to potentially, if you were to play something like this, you could almost sort of take your initial out when you get to 2x, and then it's a free bet. However it rides from there.
Exactly, depending on how much you've filled on the order. And how much you're in there. Now, on the spreads and totals, do you mess around with those at all, or no?
A little bit. I think if it's something that catches my eye, then yeah. I mean, I like this one. The only issue I have with this one is that Brighton haven't been scoring much. I'm sort of drawn towards the Palace by over 1.5 goals. If it's that, almost sort of gives you a leveraged.
It's leverage on leverage.
Yeah,
it's leverage on leverage. Oh, that's so funny.
Yeah, and that one gives you a bit more juice. Like you say, it gives you, because this one you can almost imagine, I guess, from a sort of, if I'm trying to model what it would go up to, is if Palace took the goal lead, you'll be able to cash out 100%, but still have a lot more juice left in there.
Yeah.
Rather than sort of the 44 would close up to, maybe, I'm imagining probably closing up to like 60, 65, 70 cents. Whereas this one, I can imagine if Palace score, it would go to 40 or 50 cents, which that gives you your 2x while still leaving enough for some more juice to come out.
Yeah, I actually made a trade last weekend with the Jacksonville Jaguars game. I was like, oh, they're gonna win by this much. I added all these, like, I stacked a bunch of the spreads on there, and I lost like a good chunk of money doing that. I was up a lot more in this portfolio before that game, but that just goes to show, guys, don't mix beers with Kalshi. No, and all jokes aside, I definitely agree with you on that. And, I love that there is the optionality with the spreads and totals. It adds a lot of different flavor to it.
Yeah.
Like you said, you can, add on more leverage. You can really push the leverage on these trades.
More risk.
Or,
yeah,
more risk, exactly. Or you can actually just mitigate your risk by betting on one of these levered plays, just that by itself, Is that a beer you're drinking, sir?
It's a Liquid Death.
Liquid. I was about to say that'd be pretty appropriate during a prediction market live stream. Drinking a bunch.
I drink a hell of a lot of Liquid Death. I like my sparkling water.
You just see me pour up a glass of whiskey, and I'm like, yeah, it's gonna be a long stream, guys. Okay, so that's so obviously with soccer, that's really interesting. I'm gonna throw it over to the real football, American football, the greatest sport known to man. You have a lot of different games happening pretty much all the time. I mean, you have Thursday night football, you have Friday night, Saturday night, Monday night, Sunday night. There's usually a lot of games happening here. I think we have SMU at Boston College this week. Let me find the Florida State game really fast. Because I think do they have a bye week this week? Oh, is it Florida State at Clemson? And that's begins Saturday, November 8th. Okay, so Florida State's at Clemson. Clemson's definitely favored to win here. Honestly, Clemson's been playing pretty decently. If I recall correctly, I hate Clemson, don't get me wrong, but if I recall correctly, they won. Did they win last week or lose? Let me look that up. Let's look at their roster here. Games. Where's 2025? Right here, September 6th. They lost against LSU. They won against Troy, lost against LSU, lost against Georgia Tech, lost against Syracuse. Oh, they're doing terrible this year. They won against UNC, won against Boston College. No surprise there. SMU beat them on October 18th. Duke beat them. Okay, so Clemson's not doing too hot here. And honestly, Florida State isn't either. Florida State is not really we beat Alabama at the beginning of the year, which was an incredible victory. I loved seeing that. But that was like the one major victory we had. The other teams that we had facing up against were pretty much like I don't want to talk too much shit, but not they're not really established teams.
Go on, talk some shit.
Exactly, right? So they should have been easy wins, right? So the first two were super easy wins, and then we kept losing. We lost 4 games in a row to these no nothing teams or no name teams, really. And so our performance has been very, very mixed bag, kind of lackluster. When we show up really well. Florida State shows up incredibly well. But when we fumble the bag, we fumble hard. We fumble really, really hard. And so this is going to be an interesting game. The odds on here are 53-47, so pretty much matched up. I kind of like this here because you can easily bag like a 1.5x, maybe even a 2x here, depending on how the game goes. Now, personally, I probably wouldn't start betting on this until the game starts, though. Because this is the kind of thing where I want to see how the first drive goes. And depending on the first drive and what I'm seeing, I can then make a better judgment call. Just based on the performance of both of these teams, again, being kind of a mixed bag, just overall, I probably would stay away from this until the game starts.
Yeah. Is there no draw on this? Can they not draw in college football?
They can, but they just typically don't. Like it's very unheard of to do that. You have overtime and double overtime typally.
Oh, okay.
So you have overtime, double overtime, and if double overtime ends and no one scored, then it's a tie. But I don't remember the last time that happened.
That would be a good one to have in the 0.05% chance of happening.
Yeah, right. So that's the watch list there. What else do we have? So you can bet on the weather, which is just
I saw the other day someone bet on the weather in London and it was nuts because the UK's been hotter than usual recently.
Let's see. London weather. I'm trying to find it. I don't know if it's on here.
Yeah, it might be. Might be on another one, but
temperature.
Yeah, the temperatures are interesting.
Let's see if I find it. No, I don't. I only have US markets. Damn.
Yeah, highest temperature in New York City
today. And this ends. And the cool thing about these weather markets is that they resolve. What is this? This resolves at. Is it midnight? Okay, so they just wait on this report to come out. So when does this report come out? Let's find out. I just opened the tab. 1:28 a.m.
Yeah, but you'll sort of know at some point anyway, won't you? Because it's not going to get warmer past like 3 o'clock in the afternoon type of thing. But then I guess it's
rewards pool. What is this?
Oh, do you get some kickback for providing liquidity in this?
I think so. I haven't traded the weather on here yet. Discount factors. So you get a discount.
Interesting.
Very interesting. So there's a 63% chance that it's 59 to 60 degrees is the highest temperature today.
Yeah. Oh, interesting.
Yeah, the high is 60. The high is 60 today. So can you bet beyond that? You can. Okay, so you can go to 61, 62, and there's a 28% chance that's going to happen. So, see, this is something that I like right here. Like, this is, honestly, depending on how cold it is up there, you could also just bet against this 63% chance that this is going to happen as well.
Yeah.
And get a similar outcome. But man, I might bet on the 61 to 62 after I call my brother. I'm gonna call. He lives up there. I'm gonna call him and ask him how cold it is. It's just basic stuff like that, guys. That's my TA. That's my TA on here. It's just calling my brother and then getting his vibe check, right? Granted, it is important to look at the rules every time you do trade stuff like this, especially the weather. You need to look at every single piece of rules on this trade here. So, for instance, it's talking about Central Park right here, Central Park, New York. So that temperature has to be recorded in Central Park, New York today, like from this company, this specific company.
Yeah. Yeah. So it's that official data point.
Yeah. And this is a huge piece too. Not all weather data is the same. Exactly. Checking a source like Google or AccuWeather, it's going to help. Like they even have a disclaimer here. It may help guide your decision, but the official and final value used to determine this market is the highest temperature as reported by the corresponding NWS climatological report. So that brings me to this. I'm going to go over to the crypto trading too, which I've been doing a little bit. We go to Bitcoin, Bitcoin price before 11 a.m. today. These guys, Kalshi specifically, uses CFB. They use CF benchmarks right here. It's a 60-second simple average of the 60 seconds of CF benchmarks, which takes basically an aggregated form of Bitcoin price data. And so if you're looking at TradingView in this, they're going to be way off. TradingView is typically like 30 to 60 bucks off here. So it'll be either 30 to 60 bucks behind or not behind, ahead or below or above or below. So just keep that in mind. If you're using TradingView to make a trade on Bitcoin price action today, but by 11 a.m., 12 a.m., 1 p.m., etc., on these hourly price action plays, just keep that in mind. That even if you think you're right on TradingView, you could be wrong on here.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Like you say, it's a different way of playing it. Yeah, I think the sources are interesting because we know that there is differences between the different exchanges.
Yeah, I guess how do you feel about these hourly price action plays?
I think they're interesting. It's a different way of trading for me because I'm typically a sort of price action. I like to set the time out of it, and I just set parameters. It feels to me that this sits more in the way of like the option side of things because you've got that time factor. And that time factor will inevitably eat into the odds of it happening. It's slightly different mechanism to options, but you do have that time factor. And as you get close to the time, the further you are away from what is essentially the strike price, affects the underlying price of the prediction.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, I've played these before where the last, 60 seconds on here, you can see a little timer right here. The last 60 seconds got me in profit and I made 5x on the trade.
Yeah.
Kind of insane.
Yeah, exactly.
What the heck? Sorry, I just saw a DM that just hit me. Yeah, so honestly, when it comes to Kalshi, it's still pretty limited on the hourly price action moves. You only have Bitcoin, Ethereum, Shiba, and Ripple as of right now, I believe. Let me just see here. Let's do hourly. All. No, crypto.
You got USD and Japanese yen.
Yeah. So I saw on the hourly, you have Ripple, you have Ethereum, Bitcoin. I did see that there was currencies too, right?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there we are. USD, Japanese.
Yeah,
yen.
you can do. Yeah. Japanese
USD.
yen, Euro, S&P, Nasdaq, which I find really interesting. The volume here isn't as high as you would think it would be, right? Like,
No.
because on Bitcoin, it's it's 50,000, 53,000 right there, and it's what is it? 26 minutes in, 86,000 on Ethereum right there. That's huge. Yeah, so that just tells me that the people trading on here don't really necessarily look at all of these hourlies.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, there's more opportunity. Yeah, it's interesting. Obviously, forex pairings and the S&P are two of sort of the most liquid assets around. So it's interesting to see that liquidity hasn't yet seeped into the prediction market space.
I want to check these out really bad. Let's go to let's go to trending.
I think you need to set the hourly off, don't you? There is an hourly filter.
Yeah, there is. Let's do all. Inflation in October. Gas prices in the U.S. this month. Where's mentions? Let's go to mentions. What will Trump say during the bilateral meeting? So let me just give my 2 cents here on the on the mentions market on Kalshi. I think this is the most manipulated market in the world. Like, because people, the subject in question, like Pete Hegseth here on this bet, he can just say these things. He could literally look at the market, bet on these things and tell his friends about it on an account or his son about it or something, and make a bunch of money.
Well, Brian Armstrong did that, didn't he, on the Coinbase call?
Yes.
I'm not saying he had any bets on, but he did. He read through all of the things that were in the market.
Dude, look at the volume on some of these. 155,000, 31,000 on what will Mr. Beast say during his next YouTube video. Insane. Beast, camera. What is that? Like time, win, money, feastable, challenge.
What's the unlikely? What's the most unlikely thing?
Elimination. Charity. Yeah, I think he will say charity. He says charity in all of his videos. Or most of them. Why is this one not being bet on?
That might be worth a little bit of a
What's the return on this? Let's see what $10 gets you on. That's 10 contracts. Sorry, let's do a market order. Let's buy in dollars. Let's see what $10 gets on this return here. That's $34 return right there, guys. That's 2x right there. Interesting. What's the subject of his next video though?
I don't know. I think that's also a bit of a factor, isn't it? Because that's why contestants probably down so low, because they don't know whether it's a challenge video or. Could you imagine if he does any sort of game showy type thing, contestant would be said?
He made I saved 1,000 animals from dying video 12 days ago. Dude, Mr. Beast, man, what a dude. What an actual Chad. Survive 30 days chained to your ex.
Crazy.
Yeah, this is too unpredictable. So these markets the mention markets are a little strange to me because I feel like that's probably the most volatile. Like with these, like the financials, like with price action, it's a little bit easier to understand, like a little bit easier to make a decision on.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, like when it comes to mentions, you're at the whim of just someone thinking of a word and saying it, which is actually insane. Like there's no statistics around that. Like I guess there is if you can like make historical data sets on things that people say. Like I mean, with Trump, it's probably pretty easy. I mean, like he says, huge. Like, this is probably the best speech
billions,
ever.
billions,
Yeah.
millions.
Yeah. That. What will Trump say during the bilateral meeting with the Hungarian prime minister? What do you think?
There's not too. What's on more markets on there?
Negotiation. I mean, I like negotiation. Middle East, I like that too. What do we got here? Likelihoods. Putin.
I think Russia will probably get a mention because obviously Hungary is sort of near that Russian bloc.
So where's Russia? Is there Russia a word on here?
No. Tariff, I think, is probably quite likely. But that's still quite high.
We've made a lot of tariffs, a lot of progress in tariffs. My goodness, see, but that's the return on $5. There is like $2, so it's like to me that's not worth it on a trade.
No, and the tariff one's interesting because obviously Hungary's in the EU, so obviously it's not even it's part of that bloc anyway.
When's this speech supposed to take place? On November 7th?
Today.
So today? Oh, let's look that up. Trump's speech today.
Is
it live? Wait, did this market already end then? Oh no, he welcomed him to the White House today.
Yeah.
So is this market's not over yet though?
No, I don't think they've had their meeting yet, have they?
Yeah, so it's happening today though. That's interesting. New York mayor.
I actually think it wouldn't surprise me because I think some journalist will probably ask that in the press conference.
Yeah. Actually, no, that seems relevant. That seems relevant. He's not gonna. I don't think communism. Maybe he will. Who knows? He just says his own name, Trump.
Yeah, communism is an interesting one though, because obviously it comes from that sort of former Soviet bloc. It's just weird trying to think of stuff that he will say.
Yeah, I'm looking up the time this bet is. I'm happy we're invested in this right now because I want to bet on this really bad. It's got a lot of liquidity in there, so this could be good. I'm looking up now. They're meeting at the White House today. I have no idea what that time is though. See, guys, this is prediction market trading right here. This is the research you need to do. Just keep Googling. Keep Googling.
Having a look and see what is on the agenda.
Yeah, so I think Putin is in the bag on this one because they're talking about Putin. It's like literally the meeting is about Putin. So
yeah.
So that leads me to believe that they'll probably keep it pretty on topic here.
I think you might, yeah. What else have you got? Ceasefire.
Ceasefire could be a good one. I'm surprised it's not higher up on the list. Or someone could be asking about the Ukraine. Like you could have a journalist ask about it, about what's going on in Ukraine.
Yeah, it's
ceasefire stands out to me on this one.
Yeah. Yeah. Where's what price? Yeah, ceasefire feels really cheap.
Yeah, I agree. I honestly like this one a lot. How many trades has it had? You can look at all order books too, guys. So anyone who's not familiar with prediction markets, you can look at order books on here too and see who's buying what and who's selling what in volume and whatnot. There's a lot of sales at 40 cents here. Wow. Interesting. Last trade was 28 cents. The spread on this is ridiculous. Holy shit. I'd probably set a limit order on this one.
That's the thing. If you set a limit order,
So if I can set it at like...
That's how many contracts you're buying.
Yeah, dollars. But I can do limit order. Price, let's do 28 cents also. So we get 5 contracts and the payout's right. That's almost a 2x on that, almost. It's not too bad. Yeah, Kalshi's fees do creep up on you a little bit. You can look at the graph too, guys. Look, charts. We have charts, guys.
So you can see where you need to place your limits.
Literally. Now, ceasefire seems like a shoe-in. Now that I'm thinking about it. How the fuck does Pipeline have a higher chance than ceasefire? Interesting. Which ones are live? Let's go to the live ones real fast. We have Nick Dunlap. Oh, we have the PGA Worldwide Tour happening right now. Technology Championship. Women's singles final. Entertainment. ATP Athens. What will DraftKings say during their next earnings call?
Did they have it already?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Pete Hegseth is talking right now. What? Oh yeah, so I found out where the meeting is. Bam, I have the time. It's in an hour. His meeting's in an hour.
Yeah, I think the ceasefire is interesting.
Yeah.
Have you pulled the trigger on that one?
Not yet. I'm about to. I think ceasefire is a good play here. So out of all these words, Putin's almost guaranteed. He might say Biden. That sounds about right. Tariff, NATO. NATO is almost a shoe-in as well. China. I don't know why China would be in there.
China's always in there.
True.
Yeah, ceasefire feels...
Yeah, I'm going to set a limit on here. I'm going to do 30 cents. I'll do 30 cents. Let's set it up for 10 contracts. Actually, no. This is a bit riskier. We'll get 5% on this one. The return's just so dog shit on that.
Compound them up.
Yeah. All right. I just sent it through. Set it for 30 cents.
See if we can build this stream account up to 10x.
Honestly, if I can build this to $1,000, I'll be pretty satisfied. All right, we set a limit order for 30 cents. If that fills, we'll set a sell order for probably 80 cents, I'd say, maybe even 90. No, because if he says the word, he says the word. If he doesn't, he doesn't. So it's like, oh, there's no. Once the speech begins, I can see these likelihoods falling off a cliff, like the prices dropping, because if he doesn't say the word immediately, and as the speech goes on and on and on, or as the conversation goes on, yeah.
So you could put stink bids in for 5 cents.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that. Let's change that up. Let's do 5-cent stink bids here, and then I'll up the contracts. Yeah, nice. That was easy as hell to do.
So probably a load of people trying to market sell as it goes on.
Yeah, exactly. I'll catch those stink bids and then I'll let him rip if he says ceasefire. Okay, cool. That works for me. Got that order in. Let's move on to the next one. I know we're almost at the top of the hour here. 20 minutes left. You could pound the nominee. That's so funny. Companies.
Yeah, so earnings and what they'll say.
This is interesting.
Will another S&P company 500 buy Bitcoin this year? Probably not.
Will the CEO of Twitch leave this year? After all the drama? I mean, maybe. Tech and science? Which AI company will have the best coding model? Anthropic, probably.
Yeah. Is there anything in culture? Is there anything amusing? What have we got in here?
Number one search person on Google this year.
I'm surprised the Pope's the highest.
Top artist on Spotify this year. GTA 6 release day.
Yeah, you could have got just pushing that back. Oh, what else have we got? Yeah, that number one most searched person is interesting. So I'm surprised the Pope is top.
Yeah. Bianca Cesori. So who's that? Cesori.
See, you'd think that, I don't know, Trump gravitates towards me on that.
No, apparently it's. I mean, like you have to think about globally too.
Yeah,
Like,
I guess there was
I
guess there was a lot of people who is the Pope, who is the new Pope, etc.
You can bet on movie scores, dude. I didn't know that. You can bet on the Predator movie score. This is so interesting, bro. This is I see. This is the reason I like prediction markets so much. Is they're so varied. Like you don't have. You can be from any walk of life and like get on prediction markets and go, oh, I understand that. Like you could find a market within this market that you understand and like play on that. I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, it gives something for everyone, which I think is interesting. It's outside of that sort of traditional sport view.
Yeah, exactly.
What else do we have on markets? What else is there? Yeah, because I know some people use it to do on the economic side. You can use it to do the inflation and Fed cuts, etc.
Yeah. Here we can get back to that. Here we can look number of rate cuts in 2025. So this is interesting. Looks like we have and honestly, a lot of people are using Kalshi now for like statistics because it's like the closest thing you're going to get because people put their money where their mouth is, kind of thing, right? So I think 71% chance, exactly 3 cuts this year. And I think we're already at 2, aren't we?
Yeah. Some of these are quite amusing.
Okay, so look at the rules here, though. You have to be really, really careful on this one, guys. So to be clear, 25 basis points of cuts is equal to 1 cut. 50 is 2. 75 is 3. So they do 1 cut, and it's more than 25.
Yeah, so it's the amount of times they cut, not how much they cut.
Yeah, this is the amount of times they cut this year. And there's already been 2 rate cuts this year. And they said, so this is going to be interesting because the Fed said that they're probably not going to cut rates in December. I remember them saying that, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, they put a dampener on. I suspect they probably might. The interesting one is the UK, because the UK came a bit closer to cuts. That was quite a split decision this week.
Yeah, so the Fed cut that happened in October was the second one to happen. And the Fed said that they're likely not to cut rates again for the rest of the year. So how
Yeah.
come? So, but Kalshi doesn't think so. Kalshi thinks we're going to have 3 cuts. But economic data came in better than expected. So what we can kind of do with this trade is research economic data, look at the jobs reports and everything, and check inflation out and see how bad things really are.
Yeah. Yeah, I think we probably see another cut.
You think so?
Yeah.
What makes you think that?
Because I think the earnings reports that are coming out, certainly the way that I've been reading it, is you're now starting to see that real breakdown in consumer spending. I think you saw that in certainly the cruise liners, but also from sort of some of the other consumer discretionary categories, we've seen a real drop off, and I think it's shining a light to the fact that that there is a real struggle amongst. I think there's the tech company earnings and the tech company valuations have put a little bit of a blindside over the fact that the US economy isn't doing particularly well, and a lot of the companies in the S&P aren't doing particularly well, and a lot of the people living in America aren't doing particularly well. So I think it feels like they're going to have to cut again, because ultimately the job market is where their priority is, and I think we're seeing a continued breakdown of that employment market.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. This is a hard one. So like I could bet on the fact that there will be 2 cuts. Only 2 cuts this year. And the returns are really nice on that one.
Mm-hmm. Who will Trump pardon this year?
Oh, which one was that? Culture or economics?
Yeah, culture. Pardon Hunter Biden.
That'd be pretty funny if he did
Roger
that.
Ver.
IGN's game of the year, best game of 2025. Claire Obscure, Expedition 33. I could definitely see that being the case. That was an amazing game.
There's so much on here, isn't there?
There's so many options. That's what's wild about these prediction markets, man, is that like it is just insane. Like how much you can bet on, trade on. Honestly, once you get some more liquidity and volume in here, like this could be better than trading crypto. Like this could be the new crypto trading. Honestly, I think a lot of crypto traders would agree too. They're going to the prediction markets.
There. Yeah,
honestly, I could see Kalshi and Polymarket creating a pro version too, where they're like, oh, pay like $5 a month or $10 a month. You get access to like advanced charting and like, quicker orders, cheaper orders, less fees, all that shit. Like I could totally see them doing that.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Or better execution, better order book.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I think at some point they're going to have to do more to incentivize market makers to increase the liquidity.
Mm-hmm. Look at these Oscar nominees. Will Dave Portnoy score any pizza place in 9.0 or higher again this year? Jesus. You really just can't. You can find anything, dude. Like you can literally find anything. I'm just gonna look at my town. No, I was gonna see if I found a fucking bet for it.
Tallahassee. There was something, wasn't there, on Tallahassee?
It was an account. I think it was a profile.
Ah.
Nothing. Yeah, there's profiles on their markets. Let's do Elon.
Is there anything for Florida?
I'll type in
Apart
Florida.
From Florida State. Is there anything?
Florida. We have Florida football. How many times will Trump visit Mar-a-Lago? Will a hurricane make landfall in Florida during the 2025? Dude, yeah, there's no way. Yeah, the hurricane season's already over. People lost big on that one.
Which companies will leave New York City for Florida? All right, the thing is, it's all this year.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think it'll be happening this year.
Mm.
This is a new one. How high will gas prices in Florida get this year? It's hard to tell. That's a hard one right there.
Yeah.
Highest temperature in Miami today. We have 13 hours left on this one. 86 to 87 degrees. I definitely believe that. I 100% believe 86 to 87. Especially in the wintertime. Yeah, this is actually an easy bet right here. I'm going to bet on this one. Seriously, this is an easy bet right here. Let's bet. Let's do a limit order of 53. Actually, no, let's do 50 cents. See if I can
lowball it.
Yeah, lowball it. We're going to go higher on the contracts here because the return is so much lower. We'll do 10, yeah. All right, so yeah, 86, 87. I definitely believe that. I definitely believe that. And then just as insurance, though, I'm also going to buy the 88 or above because it might get that high. We'll just do a limit order on this one. We'll do 17 cents. We'll buy 3 contracts. Yeah, we'll buy 3 contracts. No, 4. We'll do 5. It's so cheap. We'll do 5 contracts. We'll make 100% on that. It's going to cost us $1 extra. So we'll lose out on the $1 profit if we're wrong here. But if we're wrong on this past bet, we mitigate our risk by about 50% or so.
Yeah.
So I like that.
I should just push the price up.
I just pushed the price up, yeah. So I got contracts in that one. My contracts haven't filled on this one yet.
Yeah, you partially filled on that one, didn't you? You got 4.
Yeah, just have one left. And then what is this? 84 to 85 today. What's the temperature right now in Miami? Miami weather, Miami, Florida.
Probably a lot warmer than it is in the
It's
UK.
83 right now, and we're not even at the height of the day yet. The sun's going to reach peak around like 2 or 3 p.m. is when the heat really sets in. No. So daylight savings hit, so it'd be 2 p.m. So if by 2 p.m. today this does not go up to, what is that, 85? It was 80-45. $86 to 87 is what I bet on primarily with my bet there. Okay, yeah, cool. I like this. I like this trade a lot. All right, cool. All right, we're in. We're loaded in on this. And we have our limit orders in for Trump. You can look at ideas too. Dude, you can actually type in trade ideas. Like you can comment. And what does it say? Community guidelines. Can you create a sell or hodl? Who creates these bets, by the way? Oh, Market Builder. How do I create a bet? I'm curious. Can I do that?
I mean, you can create a market, can't you? Is it on there?
I think you can create a bet. You can create a market, but you have to
You have to make a liquidity pool for it, don't you? Is it market?
So.
It's not Market Builder, is it?
Where is it? Market Builder, you said?
Market Builder tab on the top.
Oh, let me see. Pending review. Okay, yeah, it is Market Builder. Build a market you want to trade. For example, will Elon be ousted from Tesla this year? We can't list markets that are related to war, terrorism, or assassination. Assassination. Well, I'm happy they can't. I'm happy you can't bet on everything. That's good. That's solid. There's still some morality there. If people like your market and it follows the market guidelines, we will list it. Okay, so that's it. They provide the liquidity.
Is there anything for Formula One this weekend? Like, will there be a crash or anything?
Let's find out. F1.
No, I think it's just got the winner, haven't they? Yeah.
That's
I
it.
think it's just the Sao Paulo Grand Prix winner.
I guess you can't bet on someone's going to die or going to crash, right?
Yeah, it's more because the Brazil one always is a bit chaotic.
Let's do this. Will Max Verstappen stop being such an ass? No. Let's see. So I guess you have to go on here and like people's ideas, and if enough people get traction on their ideas, then it becomes a thing.
Yeah, you could do one actually. Will Ferrari replace Lewis Hamilton next season?
Will Ferrari do what?
Replace Lewis Hamilton next season, before next season.
Is it Lewis WIS or is it
Lewis W?
like that? Hamilton
Yeah,
next season?
next season.
Next F1 season?
Next F1 season, yeah, because there's talk of him potentially going at the end of this season if they choose to bring someone else in.
All right, make my case. What's my case?
It's his performance has been quite poor, and there's quite a few potential replacement drivers that Ferrari might go for.
Has been less. Lewis
Hamilton's performance has been subpar this season, and there is an abundance of good potential replacements available. Yeah.
Nice.
See if it gets added.
What's settlement source? Close date?
What's the settlement source? It'll be Formula One.
I have to look it up here.
Formula One driver records, isn't it? And the season starts in February.
Formula One history.com.
Yeah, I think so. Or F1.com.
.2025 driver standings.
Yeah.
Be Formula1.com, yeah.
Yeah, Formula1.com.
Formula1.com. And then when do the drivers get announced?
I think the season starts in February.
So it'd be February. Let me just see.
So it'll be February next year.
2026 Formula One. Season start date. Starting with the Australian Grand Prix on the weekend of March 6th and 8th.
That's it. Yeah.
But when do the rosters get finalized?
They're probably finalized by February, but I think if you put the first race.
Okay, no. So Ferrari already confirmed Hamilton for next year.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know he's got a contract for next season.
Yeah, they already have a contract for him. This is pointless.
They
already have a contract.
I still think they'll get rid of him. I think they'll cut him early.
All right, so
yeah, what are we up to?
I only got one order filled. Resting. We have a couple of resting orders. That one just went up to 57. So let's rate our bid. Let's raise our bid over here.
55.
Let's do 55. And then with the ceasefire, I'm gonna keep that there. All right, yeah. So we're oh, I just lost track of time, dude. We got to start the space up. Yeah. So closing thoughts on prediction markets here, man. Before we start the Twitter space up.
Yeah, great opportunity. A lot of fun, and yeah, a chance to bet on some niche categories. Whether that be what Mr. Trump says, what Mr. Trump says or does. I don't even think Mr. Trump knows what he's about to say or do. But yeah, it opens up a range of possibilities, and yeah, it'd be interesting to dive more further into this over the coming weeks.
I agree, man. I agree. Yeah, I'll be posting the results of all the trades I made towards the end of the day on the Wolf Crypto account. Make sure you guys are following Wizard of Alt. If you're not following him already, you'll find him at wizard_of_alt on Twitter. I think that's the correct,
That is correct.
tag.
Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, but we're about to start up the crypto trading spaces over on Twitter. So if you want to hop on, join us over there. We're going to be doing spaces live on Twitter, talking all things crypto trading, tickers we're trading, market outlooks, etc. So definitely follow us over there. Check us out again next week here on X. We'll be live again, doing prediction market streams, kind of following up with some things, maybe going over what we traded over the weekend in terms of sports and whatnot, see what the outcomes were there, review those. But until then, guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll catch you guys on Twitter. Enjoy your rest of your Friday. If we don't see you, and enjoy your weekend, we'll catch you guys again